This is O.V.Gilberto right here at my YouTube channel, O.V.Gilberto Music Source. Today we are going to look into a lesson how to play chords on the bass, and hope you're going to enjoy. Yeah. Yeah, so the first thing we have to know is what is a chord. That is number one. Number two, why a bassist should know a chord. And so with the first question, a chord is a combination of more than 3 notes which you can play together, and they make voicing. So if you play like the chord I played recent, which is E minor 7, but I put the 5th on the bass. So that sounds something, the B on the bass. So number 2, why should a bassist play chords? 1, you know our role is to support sound of any chord, or we are foundation players. So if you're playing chords and you don't know, if you're playing bass and you don't know chords, you're likely to mess up. And then the harmony sounds nice when you know the chords. Number 2 is knowing chords helps you to fulfill your obligations as the bass player. The chord tones you play matters a lot. I mean by chord tones, the notes that make up a chord. Number 2, the better you know chords, it means the better you'll be able to define each sound and being creative, especially when you're creating the bass lines. We create bass lines according to the chords which are played by the chord players. Now about chord tones, that's something that I'll be talking most of the times. It's these are notes that makes up a chord. If I play, like for example, A dominant 7th chord, A7, so the chord tones are A, C sharp, and then G. But remember, this I played only 3 notes, but this is part of the chord tones, what I mean. So if it's a full chord, there should be a 5th, which is the E. So that's what we mean by a chord tone. A chord tone is very important really to any bass player. You don't know chord tones, then you don't have nice harmony over bass playing. Another one, if you find yourself frustrated in knowing some bass lines, maybe in different songs you're trying to play and you messed up, you can't know what you're doing well, it's because you don't know and you don't understand well the chords in that song. But when you analyze the chords well, now you get to know what the bassist is playing. For example, somebody's playing a song, you try to think which chord. So those are some of very important things. And so like I told you, we are going to look at chords on the bass, and today I'm going to start with playing for you, showing you how to play basic triads. Basic triads or chords, I mean 3 notes. And for this case, I'm starting with the basic primary chords, chord 1, 4, and 5. But also I will look at the 2 minor, 3 minor, and 6 minor. Now, you know, forming a chord, the rule is root, 3rd, and 5th. That is for the rest of the chord players. But something very amazing about us bass players is if a pianist calls a chord a cut with small letters, that means a bassist will call a chord a cut, all capital letters. So try to think that the chords on the bass, I mean, they really sound a little bit bold. So number one, we are going to deal with the easiest key that everybody knows, and this key is the key of C major. I'm showing everything in the key of C major. So the first thing we have to deal with is knowing the fretboard. And each of you, if you're a bass player, whether you're beginning or you've been playing for a long time, well, but the fretboard is very important. So on the bass, with this register, my notes will be C, E, and if I play the first shape is C, E, and G open. You can see my fingers, C, E, and G open. So this is, but this chord sounds not so good because of the register. It's too low. But if I push it up, this register, it will sound C, E, G. Or I can play it, so this chord is complete, but I can also play this root, third, and the root. This sounds much clearer to me. It's not a complete chord, and that's something I have to tell you, that in the bass we don't really play complete chords. We pick things like guide tones, third and seventh. Those are things, root, third and seventh, those are the things we pick mostly. So don't expect chords here to sound exactly like on piano or guitar. No, we do about 3 notes most of the cases. And so this is a C. You can play it in this shape using the string A string, or you can play it on this shape. But here you have to omit the 5th, because you would play this, but not so good. So this is C. And then if you're going to the 4 of C is F major, which is this. This is F, F, but I'm doubling the root, F, F, and then A. I'm picking the third, F, F, A. You would think of playing it like this, but this is much clearer to everybody. And G goes the same. G, same shape of F. If this is F, this is G. And for G is the same, root, octave high, and then the third, B. And so you have known 3 chords, C, F, G, back to C. Now if you want to know the 2 of C, which is D minor, is D, F, and A. This, you can take this shape, and then E minor follows by same shape, E, F, and B. You should be knowing your major scale and how to form the chords. And then this is D minor, D, F, A, and E minor, E, G, and B. Now you need the 6th chord, which is the A minor. So A minor is root, 5th, flat 3. This sounds much okay. A minor. So A, E, and then the flat 3, which is a C. So if I develop a simple progression that I play a simple praise, maybe, or any simple African kind of playing, few chords in the key of C. C, G, F, C, G, 5. Just as simple as that. So you can also practice other chords like playing the A minor, then E minor, D minor, E minor, A minor. Yeah. So like I told you, if you know all these things, you're trying to get into the point. And remember one thing before I close this lesson, that you have to know one thing, that with bass playing or guitars generally, something common in the two is that most of the times we play, it's about shapes. Once you know one shape, you're able to move to the next shape. So just work on this, practice this slowly by slowly, and don't forget to use a metronome. Kind of, you just use a metronome where you just tap in, not too much like mine here. If I try to play with that, so first play very slow, and then you can play faster and faster. So I hope you guys have learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, O.V.Gilberto Music Source, and you'll be able to know my weekly post of different videos coming up. So I wish you well, nice time.